Learn to create a question and post assignments and questions or materials to multiple classrooms in this video, all about Google Classroom. Here's my Google Classroom. I am in the classwork tab of my Google Classroom and I want to create a question. A question is an opportunity to interact with students or have students interact with one another or to simply collect information from students. So I could ask a question, like a bell ringer question. Keeping it simple, folks. Okay, what is your favorite color? And I could make that a multiple choice question, and then I could put in types of things like that. Additionally, when you do add a question, you could make this more in-depth where they're doing, maybe they have to have text-based, find text-based evidence in some form of text that you create or give them. So as a teacher, I could add a link to a document, or I could upload a PDF or a file that I want students to read, and maybe they have to answer a question about something in there. When you add a question, you can only add one question though, so keep that in mind. And then you can provide some instructions in this box as well. And then when you're ready, it looks like you can also create some type of resource for students for that particular question in the moment as well. When you're done with your question, you basically can say which student you want to give this to. If it's all, great. If it's not, uncheck and then select the student that you want it to be. I only have one student, so it doesn't really quite show you there, but I can also apply this question to multiple classrooms. So if I also wanted to put this in my sample class or I wanted to put it in a different class, I can do that as well. So you don't have to go in each class and create the same question multiple times. You can give it a topic and a due date and point values. I'm going to make this ungraded. If this box is checked here, students can see class summary, then that means that other students are going to see the results. You may or may not want that. So make sure you, basically anytime you create anything in these digital learning platforms, just look at all the settings before you save that or submit it or assign it. Again, I can go ahead and ask this question and it'll go out. Students will get a notification that I've asked it, or I can schedule this to go out at a certain time, or I could save it as a draft and come back to it later to publish it. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to schedule it just to show you. So when you do schedule an assignment, you can give it a date and a time. Actually, okay. So then on the student side, when that assignment is there, they would click what is your favorite color, and then they simply just answer it and then say turn in. And then if I go back to the teacher side and I go to that question, I'm going to see one student has turned it in and that's what they selected. If you click on view question, you can also get more information about which students answered which way. Another type of question that you could ask, let's see, I'm going to add another question here. Same question, but this time instead of doing a multiple choice, I'm just going to do a short answer, and short answer is going to allow students to be able to type in something. So here's a short answer. Again, I can say which classes, how many points I want this to be. I can set a due date. I can give it a topic. I can let students reply to each other, or I can let students edit their answer. If I uncheck this box, then only the teacher will see the student responses. But if you did want students to have a discussion about something, you could check this box and allow them to do that. So again, I can schedule this, I can save it, or I can ask the question. If I ask, that will go ahead and go into that topic under classwork. And then my student will see that in there as well. Now, changes do come to students relatively quickly. There it goes. I didn't even hit refresh, but they could refresh the page if they haven't seen anything come across. So here is my question. I can view this question. Now, as a student, I can type my answer right here. This is where the student's response is. And then they click turn in. And it submits it. And then the class could make comments as well. You can see the classmate answers. You can reply. Hit send, and that's what it would look like for students to kind of have a conversation in Google Classroom.